Greetings and welcome to the modeling bench for a new build this time. We're actually gonna build that Subaru rally car that I did a inbox review of ages ago, and I'll put a link to that video in the description in my belly down below. Uh, yeah, so if you're not gonna watch that video, this is the Tamiya 124 scale Subaru Impreza WRC. As driven by Colin McRae in the 1998 that is, Monte Carlo rally. Monte Carlo, I think, being the first rally of that season. I forget how that went for Mr. McRae, and I also forget why that was a significant year for this build, for some reason that I was going to mention. I think I did that in the previous video though. But anyways, I'm just going to dive right into this build, and thought I'd do a little introduction to the video series first. This is for a group build, of course. The effing group build on Facebook for anything that can be related to the letter F. And my premise is this is a fast car. So yeah, that's that. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started by sanding off the mold lines of the body on the bumpers and here. I don't think there aren't that many visible seam lines except for like the bumpers, but I've gotta give this a good once over, have a look at it, do some sanding, and I don't know why the camera doesn't want to focus better than this. There was something I was gonna say, but I forget. So yeah, moving on, doing the seam lines. I'm gonna have to do, yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was going to have to do some planning on the colors on this. I've been buying a lot of paints lately, the blue paints, just because I can't seem to find the exact right color that I want for this car. But I do have a few options here. But the one that I really need is called, I think, Subaru Blue Mica. It has like, not exactly like what the flakes in this thing are like mica flakes or something that gives a different kind of feel to the paint, which you can kind of see on the bare plastic here that Tamiya has molded this thing in. And that's sort of the color that I'm going for, is like sort of like electric blue or something. But I want to go a little bit darker than this, so I'll probably end up mixing something of my own concoction. But anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna go get this thing going and turn the camera on sometime later in the process. Yeah, so I've got the mold line sanded off, and spilt some blue paint on it yesterday. I was trying to mix up a paint color for it when my bottle exploded and splattered all over the place, so I'm just noticing some new splatters on the hood. The camera's not picking those up. But anyways, I also put in the hood scoop, and I went for the spotlights with covers, or spotlight covers in the front bumper there, instead of the instead of this look here for the nighttime driving, because I don't really like that with all them lights on there. Ruins the lines of the car, if you ask me, so going for the standard look, which is way cooler. But yeah, anyways, I haven't really done much since the last I turned on the camera, but I put those guys in, and I did a little putty work on the top of the bumper there just to make things a bit more smoother. And also I've been experimenting with, yeah, I needed some putty on the bulkhead here as well. But anyways, I experimented last night. As you can see, the stock seats are really smooth, and I can't get any flocking material in like at least 2 weeks, and I don't want to wait for that, so I experimented by adding my own texture last night, and I did that just by putting some Tamiya cement on there, wait a little bit, and then dab it with a paper towel. And I will attempt to do that on camera with the second seat. Right now, if I only had a paper towel at the ready, I would do it totally. Right, so paper towel, moved you guys in real close for a better look. And yeah, it was pretty basic. I did it in sections, like so. I think it's better to have it a little bit more wet than that. Kind of hard to do it from this angle though. As you can see, it's starting to melt the plastic a little bit. So just come in, dab it, dab, 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 dab. And sometimes you get a little paper stuck in there, as you could see from the other seat. But I just come in with my pliers, my this thing, nip it out, and it's okay if I leave a little, at least to me. Just adds a little bit to the texture. And I also like this method because it leaves like little strands of paper here and there, so it kind of looks like it's actual material, I guess. But yeah, this is acceptable to me, I guess. Paint a little bit on, and dab, dab, dab. Can you even see that? Get a little texture going on there. And it dries pretty quick as well. But if you don't think you've got enough texture, you can just get some more cement, go over it again, and dab it a bit. Like that. So it's not much, but it's a little bit more than just a smooth surface. And this is also the way some people do like cast iron effect on armor and such, I guess. And that's that's just actually how I came across this method, because I've seen some dudes do it for their armor. But I have to admit though that I don't know how this turns out when you actually paint the thing. But I'm gonna keep on doing this entire seat, and then I'm gonna paint them black, and then I'll actually see the finished product, kind of. So, got some base color going on the Impreza, base white, just to make the blue pop out a bit more. Don't think I really needed those since the plastic is blue colored anyways, but I had some problems spraying the white, and it was spluttering a lot, and my airbrush just would not cooperate. And when I went in to sand it just now, sand it smooth for the coat of blue, wherever the sandpaper hits it, it just strips off the paint. So yeah, I'm gonna throw this into a bath of a brake fluid and strip it down to plastic again and redo the whole thing. Now that being said, I got some junk on my table. I have already sprayed the interior bits, the interior chassis piece, and I think I have a winner for the color. It is quite blue-ish, and and with some silver flakes in it. It's a custom color that I made for my Subaru from a variety of blue shades and some, what was it? I think it was aluminum or steel color, I can't remember, to get some metal flakes going in there. Because the real car has that mica flakes in it. That's not actually metal flakes, but some sort of thing that makes like a pearlescent paint. So I stripped it back down, and it's time to sand it again, like I should have in the first place, but I actually didn't do it. But yeah, sand it down a little bit to get the paint to bond a bit better with the plastic, and then I'm gonna reshoot it with light gray primer, I guess. So I yeah, lightly sanded the entire body, and then I skipped the primer part completely for the only reason I just didn't want to go through with it. Basically, I did not prime this part, I think, or maybe I did. Oh, I did. Anywho, I did primer this part and then I sprayed straight over it, and that's alright. Just a one heavy coat. I need to do another coat on the bottom here, but I've done 2 coats on the body itself, and it's where I'm pretty happy with it. It could be a little darker shade of blue, but yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, electric blue or something. But I'm having some problems with the paint still, as in, if you can see those dots, it's like it's separating a bit when it hits sometimes, not all the time. I mean, it also did here when I did this, but I just let it dry when I sprayed this side and then came back to it and did another coat, and it just disappeared. But in the second coat, it just appeared in different places than happened in the first coat with the main body. And yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm guessing it's something to do with the way I mixed the blue color or something, or perhaps I even have it overly thinned or something. But this was free of all oils. I gave it a wipe down with some alcohol, but still this happened. And yes, I did let the alcohol dry completely beforehand. So spraying this. But anyways, even being like this, it's still kind of is actually pretty smooth. But there are a few spots where I had some dust fall down on it, and for that simple reason, I'm gonna lightly wet sand this and give it, hopefully, the final coat of blue where this doesn't happen. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so even to the most casual of observers, you can see I got a lot of mess going on the bench right now, and that's because I'm putting things together that I'm going to spray black. I got the windows here all masked up, used the kit mask that came with in the box. And I got all the shields that are going underneath it that are molded in clear plastic. If you would wish to like see the things that they are protecting in the real car, but I'm going for the realism here, so I'm gonna paint them first black and then aluminum. And regarding the body of the car, you might notice that this is slightly darker than before, and that's because I decided on the last minute, on the last run of the last coat, to go a little bit darker in the blue section, and I think I got a little bit closer to the actual color of the actual car. So I'm quite happy with that. And also, the last time you saw the body shell, it was in the lighter electric blue color that I mixed. But right now I have it all decaled up and pretty much ready to go for a clear coat of shiny clear. And then I have to do like the window moldings and that kind of stuff and inside the lights. But it's mostly done apart from the clear coat. It just has one coat of future right now, and I still haven't sealed in the decals. But that's where we're at right now. So yeah, I think the darker color really really something is the better choice for this now that I see it. I was quite happy with the color as it was, but it wasn't close enough to the actual car. But anyways, I still have plenty of that left, and I do plan on using that on some other build. Hopefully I get a Porsche someday to build in that color, because I really want a Porsche in that color. But anyways, yeah. So I'm just about to go spray some black primer on stuff. Okay, so I gotta do a little sit rep here right now. I painted a lot of things black. I painted some things with different colors as well. As you can see, I got the dashboard here kind of painted up. I still have to paint some buttons and stuff and add the decals to it. Now, I got all the undercarriage, armor, the guards painted up and scratched up as well, as you can see here. And I'm pretty happy with how the way this came out. Now, these were clear parts, but in real life, this should be aluminum, I think. At least that's how we made them on the real cars over here in Iceland. And yeah, so these are the undercarriage guards, and they get pretty scratched up because they're supposed to guard the car from rocks and stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that came out. All I did was just paint this black because it was clear, and I painted both sides of it, and then I painted both sides of it silver as well, as you can see, or aluminum. But I also scratched it before painting it silver, of course. I scratched it up kind of bad, and then I went over it with some white dry brush right around the highlights and stuff, and on some of these scratches as well, because it caught up and makes the scratches look a little bit more realistic. And I also did the same over here, and this here is a rubber part of the undercarriage guard, because this goes like underneath where the the rear suspension arms are. So this has to be rubber so the car can like suspend. What do you call it in English? Like drive along and the tire, the suspension goes up and down and works. You know what I'm talking about, you car geeks out there. What else did we do? Oh, yep, I had to add some putty on these foam paddings here on the roll cage, because they had some ejector pin marks that will be visible from the outside through the windows. And then we have this thing here that I feel like I need to unmask on camera, because yeah, this is probably the most complicated door card interior I've ever done in a vehicle. It has like 4 colors on it. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And it's a lot of masking, and I'm guessing it's a hell of a lot of bleeding on this area right here, because this is where like most of the colors meet up, and it got some like handles and details and buttons and stuff as well. So I'm not so sure the masking held up, but for the sake of something, I'm going to unmask it right here on the camera. Now these colors are not exactly correct, maybe, perhaps, but they're close enough, I think, to something. Or maybe I should, like, yeah. I'm always overly generous with masking tape, I think, because you're never too careful. Well, so far so good. Not too much to worry about there. So yeah, this is like light gray, pale blue gray, and then I got Panzer gray, and then we have black in there. And I think this, I may have spent way too much time on this, considering this is going to be not only on the interior, but also this part right here comes in front of it like so. So it hides it even more. And now I just bumped the camera and moved it a bit. Oh god, the last piece. And of course it rips up because I'm doing this on camera. Ooh, look at that. Oh yeah, no bleeding on the inside of this door guard. There she is. I'm pretty stoked about that. Kind of weird seeing all these colors. I don't think the street version has this many colors, but this is what the instructions call for. And yeah, I couldn't find any good references about the rally car, so I didn't really look for them either. But that's the door card on the passenger side. I still gotta paint like these little buttons in there black. And I think the door handle is supposed to be, the door handle might supposed to be chrome, but that can be arranged with the Molotov liquid chrome. So yeah, anyways, as I'm unmasking this, I think this should be a good point to end this video section right here. We've done a lot of things, but there are so many things left to do. This interior has so many details that need to be done. So yeah, I'll say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Keep on modeling, keep having fun. Bye.